It's amazing just how little the religious actually understand about, well, anything really, because that's really one of the major problems. The more they run off at the mouth, the more ridiculous they look, and that's why I'm happy to give them a forum just before I completely derail them and show the world just how stupid they really are. Because somebody has to, might as well be me. So, let's get back on task. Today, we're going to go take a look at Barak Lurie, who is a self-described anti-atheist crusader. He's also got a book over on Amazon that has some really, really bad ratings, but that's not exactly a surprise, is it? This guy is a lunatic. What else is new? But this is the first time we've looked at one of his videos, I think. Who knows, really? They all tend to run together after a while. So let's watch him completely misunderstand pretty much everything there is and run around with his emotions. It's all the religious are capable of. It's why they're such a waste of human skin.
And in fact, a world without God ends up being very similar to a world of the animal.
That's kind of a stupid way to start a video, isn't it? Now, that's not exactly a surprise because a lot of religious videos really are just dumb on their face. But really, please try to be better. Try. In reality, this is a world of animals. Humans are animals, whether the overly emotional like it or not. And I know they don't care about reality because these are not rational people. But come on, you're not doing yourselves any favors acting like morons. So please, try to do better.
Hi, I'm Barak Lurie, and today I want to talk to you about how atheists themselves don't necessarily believe in atheism.
Because you clearly don't understand what atheism is. Atheism isn't a belief. There is nothing to believe. Atheism is the lack of belief in God's full stop. It is looking at the claims made by the religious and saying, I don't believe you. I don't buy it. I think you're full of shit. That's it. That's all there is to it. Yet the religious can't get that through their heads because they're really not that smart. So no, atheists don't believe in atheism. Atheists don't believe anything when it comes to religion. We just don't buy into your crap. It's no wonder this video has been as soundly downvoted as it has been at this point in time. Because this guy is out of his ever-loving mind.
Yeah, that's right. I mean that.
I know, which is why everyone thinks you're crazy. Because you fundamentally don't understand the words coming out of your mouth. Or, more properly, the words coming out of your mouth make no fucking sense. And this is a problem that we see all the time with the religious. It's why they are batshit crazy. They're off in their own little fantasy world in their heads, and they can't find objective reality from where they are. And I know a lot of people don't like me saying that, but there is fundamentally something wrong in their heads. I don't know if it makes them insane or merely delusional, but a lot of people who object to the idea that the religiously deranged are actually mentally ill, I think the reason they do it is because it actually insults those who actually have mental problems to compare them to the religious. And yeah, I guess that's kind of sad when you think about it, but hey, if the shoe fits, you gotta stick it on somebody's foot. But we'll set that aside for the moment, and we'll get back to the Looney Tune.
In other words, he enjoys all the benefits of a world with God, especially in America and almost every other country in Western civilization, which infuses its morality from the Judeo-Christian mindset.
Except it doesn't. Most countries in the Western world are secular, including ours. The United States has been a secular country since its founding. Get over it. Their people might be largely religious, although, as we know, this is changing rapidly in the Western world, but the countries themselves are purely secular in nature. Their founding documents say so. The United States is not a Christian nation, nor has it ever been. The Founding Fathers said so specifically in our founding documents. And the same goes for most other first world Western nations. Just because you want the crazy things in your head to be true, that doesn't make them true. This is really where I think the mental instability comes in, because these people clearly don't live in the same reality that normal people do. Now, whether that means there's something wrong with their brains, I'm not saying. I'm not a medical professional. There certainly is something severely flawed in their outlook on reality, though. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. So that's what I'm going to be calling insane. Deal with it.
And because of that, he enjoys the benefits of truth, of justice, of beauty, of music, a sense of fair play, and for that matter, freedom and democracy itself.
None of which depends on your silly beliefs. That's really another one of those things where the religiously delusional get pretty much everything wrong. None of these things depend on Christianity. Christianity didn't come up with any of them. A few of them go back to the Greeks, but most of them simply exist because humanity exists, or because reality exists, and Christians like Lurie are just laying claim to them. Well, too bad you can't have them. They're not yours, and they never have been. Time to grow up and deal with the actual facts. But that's really the problem, isn't it? These people can't handle the truth. It's why religion is such a fucking cesspool. None of them give a damn about reality. It's all about their precious widow fifis, because these are just little children living in adult bodies, wishing desperately that they could get their own way. And it's why they are just throwing immature temper tantrums so often. Because these are not mature, rational, intelligent adults. And they really just need to grow up.
These are things, among many other things, that he truly enjoys. He wants to live by, and he expects others to live by.
But these things still have absolutely nothing to do with you. We have achieved all of those things rationally and intelligently without your imaginary friends having any input whatsoever. Now, this is something else that we see from the religious all the time. The idea that just because some of the people involved might have been religious, that suddenly means everything they did was inherently religious on its own. And that's stupid. It really is. The non-religious founding fathers didn't inherently make all of the founding documents of the United States non-religious, did they? They certainly existed, but they didn't just magically make everything one way. What did it was the fact that everything that was written and officially voted upon by the people, those documents were, by their very nature, secular. The whole thing is really silly when you look at it, which is why people like Lurie never actually look, or most especially, they never actually think about anything intellectually. It's all fifis. And that's just dumb.
Right? I mean, don't we all want that? But the question is, why? I mean, animals don't have any of these senses. An animal doesn't have any interest in truth or justice, or a sense of purpose, or improving his life to become a better dog or a better cheetah for that matter, right? That's not in their DNA. But for us, for we humans, we for some reason have this sense of a better tomorrow, of progress.
Sure, but that doesn't come from any god. You'd have to prove that it did, and you can't do that. And this is yet another thing that I see people, many of them religious, although certainly not all, doing completely wrong. They declare that because animals aren't doing things the way that humans do them, that they aren't doing them at all, as though humanity is the gold standard by which absolutely everything else automatically gets judged. And that's really kind of silly if you think about it. Why compare things as though we're the ones that are the standard bearers? They're not us, and we're not them. Therefore, this whole thing becomes ludicrously absurd. Cheetahs are not humans. In other news, water is wet. Big fucking deal. Come on back when you have an intelligent point to make. You're nowhere close to that yet.
But in our quest to have a better world, we really should ask ourselves, why is it so? Why? Why do we strive for beauty and music and art? Why do we strive for truth? Why do we strive to make the world a better place? This is something that the atheist really can't understand and doesn't want to understand.
Oh, we understand you just fine. We just don't attribute it to an imaginary father figure in the sky, which, of course, that just hurts your feelings. Yeah, too bad. So sad. Fuck off. There is no evidence for any of that at all, nor does it make any kind of rational sense whatsoever. And of course, the religious, they don't care about any of that, do they? This is about their feelings, not about the facts. It's why they're just immature children once again. We can explain all of that stuff very easily. We just need to observe reality to do it. We don't need to curl up in the fetal position, suck our thumbs, and insist that our feelings tell us absolutely everything we need to know about the world. Because that's stupid. I keep saying that, but it's true. It's stupid. And so are the religious.
And in fact, a world without God ends up being very similar to a world of the animals, where it's only struggling, where you only have 3 central missions in your life: to eat, to not be eaten, and to mate. That's it.
And you say that like it's a bad thing, because if you actually think about it, most things that humans do, it's all about 2 things. A lot of technological progress is about keeping us alive. It's not necessarily about not being eaten, but it's about not starving, not freezing, having clean water and nutritious food, a roof over our heads, not falling to disease, yada yada yada. It's all of those things and more. Survival is kind of a major thing. And a lot of the other things we do, like music and beauty, that has a lot to do with reproducing, finding a mate, keeping a mate, producing offspring. That's a huge part of what humanity does. So yeah, we're just like the animals because we are animals. Welcome to the real world, dude.
If you want that world, well, then be an atheist.
Not like I need your permission, but okay, I am an atheist. It's a hell of a lot better than being a Christian. I can tell you that from personal experience. Fuck Christianity. Fuck religion. The world will be a whole lot better off without it. The last thing we need is more delusion. We've got more than enough of that without religion, and that has to go too. It's time for humanity to grow the hell up and deal with the facts as they are and stop pretending like our fifis mean anything. Fuck your fifis. Grow up. You're too old to act like a 2-year-old. Knock it off. You have to be better than that.
But if you don't accept that world, if you don't think that's what your purpose in life is, then maybe you're not an atheist. But just remember my mantra, even when I was an atheist. I used to say, I'm an atheist, but thank God nobody else is.
And you were an idiot. You are an idiot, sorry. Nothing has changed. Because it's funny that all of these theists who claim that they were once atheists, they were never rational atheists. It's bloody obvious that they weren't. They were never skeptical atheists. They wouldn't know skepticism if it bit them. They just didn't believe in a God. They were default atheists, and that's not really much to be proud of either. You actually have to know what the hell you're talking about, and when these people go on to embrace a religion somewhere down the road, they don't. They never did. They're just as ignorant today as they ever were. Being an atheist, like it or not, is no indication that you're going to have a brain in your head. Having a brain and knowing how to use it, that's a pretty damn good indication that you're going to be an atheist, though. Give it a shot. It can only help.
Because I know the dangers of a world without God. We'll talk about that more in our next episode. Thank you for listening. We'll talk with you next week.
Why? Because, as I said toward the beginning, this video is getting a severe drubbing in the comments. At the moment, as I write this, it's got 47 upvotes and 246 downvotes. And every single comment, every one that I can find is, "What the fuck are you talking about, Willis?" Because this guy is just stupid. They have no clue whatsoever. It's why it's so absurdly easy for me and pretty much everyone else to just shred their videos. If they knew what the hell they were talking about, it wouldn't be this painfully simple. Yet it is. It really is. And this is why I went on my quest to find non-low-hanging fruit among the religious, and I came up completely empty-handed. Because apparently there aren't any. This is the level of intellect that we see among the religious apologists, no matter where they fall on the scholarship spectrum. This is it. This is the best they can do. Empty claims, zero objective evidence, endless wishful thinking, and emotional diatribes, and nothing of substance whatsoever. These people aren't very smart. They're just not. I wish they were, because I hate having to point it out all the time, but somebody has to. It might as well be me. We do them no favors pussyfooting around and pretending that they have anything worthwhile to say. And I don't think for a second that I'm going to change their minds because, let's be honest, they're not using them in the first place. Absolutely none of these people reach their beliefs through logic, reason, or evidence. None of them. None of them at all. They didn't follow the evidence to their religious belief. Their faith came out of their ass, not their head. They got there because it felt good, and so long as that's their level of intelligent capability, they're screwed. So I don't care about converting the religious to rationality. It's not going to happen anytime soon, and I'm just pointing out the truth. These people are nuts. They are children living in adult bodies. They have severe mental and emotional problems. They need help, but they won't accept any because they're happy being crazy. So I'm only going to point out where they're wrong. They will throw the inevitable temper tantrum and scream and cry and kick their feet and not pay the slightest bit of attention to the truth that's actually out there because they're simply incapable and they're simply not interested. It's sad, but what the hell can we do? We can't force them to think. We wish we could, but that's not possible. So we just have to try to protect anyone else from their mind poison. It's what I've been doing for years. Anyone who wants to come along on the journey is welcome. The rest, yeah, you can just go subscribe to the religious stupidity. The whole situation is just sad. Boom, 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 boom.